Hi Leo, welcome to your December 2017 reading. Thank you so much for being here. I'm coming to you from the United States. I'm here in Idaho visiting my mom and standing in my grandfather's old hobby shop office, which is why I have all the planes and cars and everything all around me. Really quick, let's go ahead and do your astrological highlight for the month. Now, you're going to see, I just did your intuitive portion. I did the intuitive portion first, but you're going to see how in line the intuitive portion is with what's going on in the sky, because we've got Saturn moving into Capricorn according to Western astrology. Okay, so this is a beautiful transit for you. It's moving into your 6th house of work, which Saturn is just so happy to be here. And you may actually put so much focus and effort and emphasis into your work over the upcoming years. And it's grounds for huge amounts of progress, whether it's career advancement that you're looking for or a business that you're building. I think just naturally you're going to feel very inclined to just be in your work state of mind. Be careful that you don't turn into a workaholic, however, because this is kind of a workaholic type of position. We also have Venus and a Mercury retrograde occurring in your 5th house, and which is ruled by Sagittarius, and your naturally ruled house. And in terms of your creative expression, whether it's whether it's through children, whether it's just dating, or whether it's actual creative efforts, I think you're going to have a lot of, I don't know why the word sentimental is coming to my mind, and I'm not quite sure why, but there's a little bit of sentimental aspects to your creative efforts, okay? Venus coming in here for those of you who are dating or beginning new relationships. This is a beautiful placement for you. It's going to be fun, lighthearted, associated with the sign of Sagittarius, a little bit adventurous, and something a little bit more daring as well, being in a fellow fire sign. Mercury retrograde here, be careful. There could be some miscommunications. There could be some misinterpretations of things as well. Be very cognizant of your exchange and reciprocity, giving as well as receiving. All right, and you'll see a lot more of that outlined in your intuitive portion. So with that, I will let you go. I will be introducing a new deck that I designed as well, so you'll see that in just a minute. All right, thanks so much. Bye. Hello Leo, welcome to your December reading. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, we got these popping out. So this is my new deck. It's called the Bali edition. It's not for sale, but I just use pictures from my time that I spent in Bali. I'm personally very connected with it. May or may not speak to you, but it's more about my relationship with the cards and those experiences. So let's go ahead and begin. We had 6 of Pentacles coming out. And 6 of Pentacles is a card of giving and also receiving. I would call it a card of reciprocity, okay? Sometimes we are in the more needy position, and sometimes we are in the position of resources. So I'm not sure exactly where you are. Some of you may be receiving things from the universe. Some of you may be over giving as well. Sometimes I do see this as being people that, you know, dedicate a lot of time, energy, and effort into someone or some situation without truly getting a return on investment, right? Some of you may be getting what I call universal payback, right? Where the universe is compensating you for a lot of the hardships that maybe you went through over the past few months or even the past year. It's a charitable place, you know, and being the time of year that it is, you know, many of us celebrate the holidays, whether it's, you know, Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever. And so it is usually a time of year where we tend to look outside of ourselves, look outside our own selfish desires and ask the world or ask the universe what we can do to help. And so maybe you are in a position of being able to help, but maybe some of you too are in the position of needing things as well. So it can go both ways, and sometimes helping in a material way begets emotional and spiritual gain, okay? Two of Wands. I see this as my card of possibility. You know, kind of a blank slate. We have this huge transit happening, which I'll talk about in the intro. I record the intuitive portion first, but you know, we have this easement, I believe, going on, and our horizons are becoming broadened. So whatever area of life it speaks to, many of you will actually be going through an analysis of your entire life, your personal relationships, your intimate relationships, your career, your financial situation. And it's like, okay, well, what is possible? What is possible in this lifetime? What is possible for myself this year? I'm seeing a lot of, or I'm getting a vibe of a lot of structure. Okay, Saturn being a sign of structure, heading into a house or into a sign of structure, right? It's home place Capricorn, as per Western astrology. And so I think that getting things in order and kind of, it's like organizing the ingredients of your life in order to make your end product, right? In order to bake your cake, you need your sugar, you need your flour, your eggs, your vanilla, whatever. You need all of these things before you can make the cake. So I'm feeling like you are getting in your mind your grocery list, okay? Make sure these are all in there. Your grocery list of things that you need in order to accomplish your goals. These go very well together. Like I said, asking the universe, what can I do to help? Like that famous, was it John F. Kennedy, I believe it was, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country, you know, kind of thing. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about movement. It's about change and transition, leaving things behind that no longer serve. It is about getting out of your comfort zone. I think a lot of you are going to really push yourself this year, okay? Or this month, rather. This is a monthly reading. You know, you're going to push yourself. You're going to decide that there is more. Now, it doesn't mean acquisition of more things. Some of you, this actually could be finding more through less. There is an element of less with a Six of Pentacles, right? Like I said, like it's like, you know, these are two, actually in Bali, there were very, 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 very few homeless, or what you would call, you know, street people, right? I would say these were the only two that I ever saw. And so there is that element of less, but less is more. And here you are heading toward more, but with less, okay? Simplifying your life, removing the extraneous complications. Sometimes we get comfortable with complicated. We feel that life must be complicated. We feel that life needs to be confusing, you know? And so for us to say, no, it doesn't have to be. I'm gonna reduce it down. And a Knight of Pentacles. This is a card of Virgo. Doesn't have to be Virgo, but it can be any other sign. But with that Virgo, service is really popping out for you guys. Let me just make sure. I'm really paranoid about my camera. Okay. Okay. Is it still working? Is it still rolling? Knight of Pentacles is a service-oriented card, right? So I put like a server or a waiter on as the image, right? So that idea of giving, that idea of what you can do. And there may even be someone in your life too that is giving to you, right? Like I said, someone, you kind of can both be in the giving side and the receiving side with this card. So it goes both ways. It is, you know, cyclical. And there does seem to be someone that is more than happy to give, more than happy to help, more than happy to dedicate their time and energy and effort toward your possibilities. You know, you're kind of all sort of heading in the same direction. We have the driver and we have the Knight of Pentacles here, all sort of looking toward this Two of Wands, which is your ideal world. You know, your idea of happiness, or, you know, happiness or neutrality. Knight of Pentacles can be stingy with their time and energy. You know, this is a prudent person, and they do approach things with caution. But when they do decide that something is worth it, whether it's their dream that is being invested in, or maybe it's someone, you know, you have a dream together and you're moving forward together. Maybe this is a business partner or a friend or whomever. But when they do decide to dedicate time and energy, they are the absolute best person to have in your corner, right? Because they will fight. You know, it is a Knight of Pentacles after all. They will fight for their cause. All right? They will fight for their dreams, and they will also fight for your dreams if they believe in it enough. What is possible, Leo? 10 of Wands. This is a card of hard work, right? Which you're no stranger to. Leos definitely know how to work hard. They know how to put in what is required. They're not afraid to get their hands dirty. You kind of have kind of a bad rap sometimes as being kind of, you know, that whole like stereotypical egotistical or whatever. But like I said, when a Leo decides to give, it is with the pride of that lion, right? So it's wholeheartedly giving. And 10 of Wands is, I have no problem getting down in the trenches and doing the work. I have no problem lifting up. So see, you have this bamboo that is acting as the support system for this concrete building, right? And someone's got to get the bamboo there, and you know, you see these people that carry these bamboo sticks on their shoulders as they're riding their scooter, and it's like, wow, they really are willing to do what it takes to get the job done. There's always a benefit at the end of a 10 of Wands. It's not for nothing. You're building something, you're putting something together. This would be the act of like actually going to the grocery store and collecting the ingredients, like I was saying. It's all kind of this interesting mixture that's happening. The preparation phase. You're getting prepared for something, Leo. What is it that you're getting prepared for? Prepared for big dreams, prepared for progress, prepared for this... Like, I feel like you've been kind of locked in a cage and you are ready to just break free, okay? But you need help first. Not only do you need help, but there are others around you that also need help. Be careful of how much you take from people if you are in that I need help position. Okay, not all of you will be there, but be careful of how much you take. This person's resources is not unlimited, okay? And they need to see results before they give more. So a little bit at a time. You know, how do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. You don't need to do it all at once. And it is important that even though this person seems to be interested and totally on board with you, ready to help you, don't expect them to, while they're probably more than happy to be all in, don't expect them to be, okay? There can be an element of selfishness on both sides here, and this person can also be, well, I'm not going to help you if you don't help me, so what am I going to get out of it, right? So there's a transactional element here, but it's not necessarily so fragile or so delicate, but just be aware of it, and just be sure to not take advantage, because again, the card of Virgo, the Virgoan energy, they can turn into the ice queens or the ice kings. You know, in mythology, the reason we have winter is because Demeter, she would starve the land because she was angry because Hades takes her daughter for 6 months out of the year, right? So she freezes the earth, and Virgo energy type people can freeze you out. So you have to tread lightly. They are fragile sometimes, okay? and they can easily feel like they're being taken advantage of. So just be sure to do your part. I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying you aren't. It's just a warning, or just, you know, to be sure of type of thing. Be sure to do your part of the work. If it is your dream that you are going after, you cannot rely on someone else to achieve that for you. You're the one that's going to have to push harder. Okay? This seems to be playing a very passive role so far, this person. Two of Wands is really like, boom, standing out. So we'll see what else comes out. And the Lovers. And this is a card of love, yes, but also just togetherness in general. I chose the yin yang street art for, you know, the representation of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And I wanted people, when I read tarot with these cards, to understand that it's not necessarily always about sex. It's not always about love. There is an element of choice here. This is the card of Gemini. It is about the duality of life. It is about the duality of human nature and the duality of human desire. You know, like even here, as represented here with the Six of Pentacles, the reciprocity, giving and receiving. You know, that in and of itself is a form of duality. And the equilibrium that is needed to find happiness, like I said, happiness and neutrality, right? That's the very zen point, where you have love and you have hate, but in the middle is where true happiness is found, right? That's a very simple, oversimplified way of explaining, you know, some very deep concepts, but hopefully it resonates, or hopefully it makes sense for you. You may need to come to an equilibrium within yourself. Maybe you need to come into an equilibrium with someone else, someone in your life. Maybe there's a conversation that needs to be had, right? I'm not sure, but whatever needs to be done, I think that you will have the power to accomplish that this month. That power to find the common ground between two people, you and someone else, between your dreams and their dreams, between how much you receive and how much you give. And it's kind of like all about finding that midpoint is kind of what I'm sensing. And that's the happiest place to be. You know, it's the least turbulent place. It's you standing in your regal power and stepping off the pendulum, you know, kind of making yourself unavailable or unaffected by the rhythm of the universe kind of thing, and just kind of letting the world and the chaos and the drama of the world pass you by as you are focused on attaining your goals and your dreams. It's kind of how I'm seeing it. Oh, we got something popping out here. Eight of Pentacles. There's no shortage of work that must be done, you guys. All right, let me check my camera. Eight of Pentacles is another card of Virgo, or a Virgoan theme. All right, so whether you are the ones that need to become this very prudent, you know, doing things one day at a time, being very detail oriented, breaking things down, spending the time on the small things, you know, I think that there is that need for you this month. This is measuring out the ingredients to make sure that they are all perfect. There is an element of perfection. It's actually not really that surprising to me, because, you know, Virgo is your next sign, you know, and that's kind of the sign that you mature into, so to speak. You know, as our sun progresses in astrology, we sort of mature into the sign that follows and precedes, succeeds, that follows us. And you are tapping into that more mature self, because Leo being so much about self-expression, but Virgo being the one that perfects that self-expression, that perfects the actual communication, that perfects the art, that perfects the creativity, all right? And to make it better, self-improvement, so to speak. And this could very well speak to just you, or you in relation to someone else. and you and your intimate relationships, friendships, co-workers, whatever, making it better and utilizing those relationships in a productive way to accomplish possibilities. Okay? There's no, like I said, there's no lack of work for you. It's cut out for you. It's ready and it's waiting. All right? The cake doesn't bake itself. I don't know where that analogy came from. I'm just going to roll with it. And the Five of Pentacles. Okay, well, Five of Pentacles being about lack and scarcity. I'm wondering how your resources are doing this month, whether it is financial or whether it is your love and energy that you have, right? Your resources can speak in a material realm and a spiritual realm as well. So how, and Six of Pentacles also like that lack. There does seem to be lack of stuff. I'm not sure why or where that's coming from, but this could be that time where you are forced to appreciate what you have and to find wealth in what you have, in the moment. There's possibility, sure, but recognition that you're never going to feel like you have enough if you don't feel like you have enough right now. Okay? This is a card of scarcity, like I said. It can also be a card of isolation, a card of rejection too. Now, I don't think that this person is rejecting you. It can be even just like a universal thing, feeling rejected by the universe, feeling like you are in a place of lack. You know, I'm not sure. This could be financially, right? So if you have a project that you're working on, there could be extended resources being spent on something. It is holiday season, presents, travel, all sorts of things can kind of deplete our material liquidity. And I don't know, it's going to speak to all of you in different ways. But true happiness is found in that equilibrium. Okay? The having and the wanting of what you have. I'm not seeing sadness this month though, guys. I just want you to know, I'm not seeing sadness. I'm not seeing anything dark. It's more a shift in perspective, okay? I'm not seeing overly romantic themes for you either. So it really could just be a pretty neutral, regular month with not a lot of drama, except for maybe some of you that are incurring some financial loss or financial stuff, but it's still not so dramatic. All right, so just a really easy, go with the flow kind of month, a really good time for you to reflect on your relationships, to reflect on how much you give versus how much you take. Okay, so that's a lesson that we all, we all need to go through at some point. And now we have the Knight of Cups. So we have two knights coming out here. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, both feminine polarities, which you being a wand or a fire quality, you're the more masculine side. So the Knight of Wands, oh sorry, I apologize. The Knight of Cups could represent your energy or the energy of another person. The more and more I'm talking about this reading and the more like pentacle cards that come out, and the more I kind of almost feel that this actually is you as well. Not only just can be someone else, but you as well, and sort of embodying the nature of the connection, okay? A more helpful, service-oriented connection. And now Knight of Cups is more of that dreamlike creativity, which I love because Leo is the sign or the ruler of self-expression and creativity. And so here with Cups, you know, really feeling emotionally connected with your goals and feeling very emotionally connected with your projects. Now, this, I feel, being connected with the Two of Wands, being the kind of the caps of the reading, you know, I think that you are embarking upon some very creative endeavors, whether it is children, whether it is art or music, or whether it is like really putting those hobbies to work, or writing, or whatever it is that you do to be creative, to stand apart from the rest, and to be individualistic, right? That's also a symbol of Leo, is the individual. And I feel a deep emotional connection with what it is you're doing, which is why you have no problem doing the work here. It's just a very, you know, very neutral reminder for you to not take or to not expect other people to invest as much or more into your creative endeavors, into your world of possibilities, okay? But to, you know, hunker down and do the work yourself and do what you need to do, and to be grateful for anything that you do receive, financial or emotional support or otherwise, okay? So let's go ahead, and I've been pulling out just 3 finishing cards to just kind of cap off and summarize or add to the reading. And the Fool, which I love. You know, just kind of delving in almost naively, right? This is a card of naivete and innocence, and, you know, there's even a child here as well. With my deck, I really wanted to ensure that there were children, because I feel that they are so underrepresented in many other decks. And so for those of you who are interested in having children, now might be a time to really get prepared for that, okay? Not saying it definitely will happen, but, you know, there's always that possibility. Now, the Fool is the rebirth. It's a Plutonian quality, but not the breakdown or the destructive part, but the rebirth part. You know, the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's the positive quality associated with Pluto. And here you have an innocent child just charging forward toward wherever it is she's going. And it is with that childlike wonderment that you must have toward your world of possibility. But again, still that acceptance of full responsibility for accomplishing those things without any expectations from other people. Because the Fool is solo. The Fool is alone. Your life, even though you have people in your life, no one can live your life for you. Okay, so just, I don't really think that's a problem. I don't know why that keeps coming out of my mouth, but I don't really see you guys normally in my experiences with Leos, but just maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just a thing. Temporary. And the King of Swords. You know, this guy's so totally in his little world, right? Ugh, if I can pick it up. So totally in his little world. And almost even kind of cut off from the chaos, you know, reading news, being objective, trying to see the world from, you know, another person's standpoint or whatever. There is a need for objectivity this month, and I think that this is truly you. To also the theme of education comes out, I think, with this particular card, because it's that essence of preparation, like I said, preparing yourself by educating yourself. Whatever it is you want to do to make sure, you know, if you're setting up whatever, an e-commerce website, you need to educate yourself on how to do that. Or if you're, you know, an artist and you want to open new art, you know, or have an exhibit in some new art galleries, you're going to do research to figure out which galleries will be the best fit, right? And to kind of prepare everything that needs to be prepared. Now I'm just repeating myself. The King of Swords can be harsh, he can be objective, and I think that's what this needs to be. You know, while you have that emotional connection with what you're doing, the process through which you're doing it needs to be like tick, 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 very organized and very structured and very unemotional, if you will. And the Five of Wands. This is actually a card associated with Leo as well. Number 5, 6, and 7 are associated with the fixed signs. And this is a card of competition. It's a card of obstacles, and it's a card sometimes of pettiness and a little bit of arguing and superficiality. That's why I was saying in the beginning, I think that, you know, the superficiality is waning and you are simplifying things. Sometimes you can feel a little bit of a backlash, you know, between who you were and where you're going and who you are becoming. And this can be internal, that internal conflict, that internal push, right? And it can also be external, you with someone else or you with other people. In a workplace, it can occur where maybe there's just a little bit of conflict at work. In personal lives, just a little bit of conflict within the family or within those that are close to you. In a dating scenario, this can also be that like bum's rush of dating and kind of dating the same person over and over. But as you release this old version of yourself and you come into this place of true peace and in equilibrium, this will seem insignificant and almost as though you are an innocent bystander sort of watching this. And like I said, as you step off the pendulum, you watch the chaos of the world kind of happen right in front of you, but you are so separate and so isolated. Even 5 of Pentacles, remember what I was saying about isolation, so isolated from that you likely won't participate too heavily in this, which is a really positive thing and something that you should actually be proud of or to be excited about, because it's an accomplishment for sure. So I will let you guys go with that. All right, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next month. Bye.